everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be giving you some new book releases in June, July, and August. So these are the ones that I'm really interested in. I think I've got 2 for June, 3 for July, and 3 for August. So basically I'll tell you when it's going to be released and I'll read the synopsis of the book. I'll also have pictures of the book on the video here for you so you can see it. But without further ado, let's get started. So the first book that will be coming out in June that I'm really interested in, it actually releases June 4th. So it will release, so today's Friday the 31st that I'm videoing this. So it'll be out Tuesday. So I'm super excited. I've already had it pre-ordered. And that is called The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lindy, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. So the synopsis of this is really interesting to me, and hopefully it is interesting for you as well. Can you love the dark when you know what it hides? Some things aren't supposed to exist outside of our imagination. 13 years ago, monsters emerged from the shadows and plunged Kiersey's world into a cataclysmic war of near total destruction. The New York City she knew so well collapsed practically overnight. In the wake of that carnage, the monster treaty was created, a truce of sorts. But tonight, Kiersey, a gifted and fearless thief, will break that treaty. She'll enter the Holly Library, not knowing it's the home of a monster. He's charming, quietly alluring, terrifying, but he knows talent when he sees it. It's just a matter of finding her price. Now she's locked into a dangerous bargain with a creature unlike any other. She'll sacrifice her freedom. She'll offer her skills. Together they'll put their own futures at risk. But he's been playing a game across centuries, and once she joins in, there will be no escape. So I think it's got a little bit of like a fantasy romance. It's urban fantasy. I'm really intrigued to know like what kind of monster, if it's multiple different monsters in this treaty, if so, what kinds, who the monster is in the library. Plus I pre-ordered the deluxe edition or something, I don't know, or the first run. So it's got beautiful sprayed edges, which when I do a new book haul, I'll show it to you guys. But I'm super intrigued about this, and it has definitely moved up on my TBR. Probably will be the next thing I read, so I'm super excited for that. So the next book that comes out in June that I'm really interested in, it's actually just a romance, and it is by one of my favorite romance novelists, Ali Hazelwood. And this comes out June 11th, and it is called Not in Love. So here's the synopsis for this one. A forbidden secret affair proves that all's fair in love and science. Rue Seibert might not have it all, but she has enough. A few friends she can always count on, the financial stability she yearned for as a kid, and a successful career as a biotech engineer at Klein, one of the most promising startups in the field of food science. Her world is stable, pleasant, and hard-fought, until a hostile takeover and its offensively attractive frontman threatens to bring it all crumbling down. Eli Kilgore and his business partners want Klein, period. Eli has his own reasons for pushing this deal through, and he's a man who gets what he wants, with one burning exception, Rue, the woman he can't stop thinking about, the woman who's off limits to him. Torn between loyalty and an undeniable attraction, Rue and Eli throw caution out the lab and the boardroom windows. Their affair is secret, no strings attached, and has a built-in deadline, the day one of their companies will prevail. But the heart is risky business, one that plays for keeps. So you've got kind of that enemies to lover kind of thing. But then The Secret Affair, science, business. So I'm really intrigued about this one. I loved everything that Allie Hazelwood has written so far, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like this one. Plus, all of her books are very lighthearted, very easy to read. So a lot of the times when I'm reading like dark-ish fantasy or like very complex stories, having something like this is really nice to have in the TBR. So keep your eyes open for that one. That one comes out early June too. So now moving on to July releases. The first one is releasing 7/2, and that is the second book in the Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts, and it is called Reckless. The first book is called Powerless. So I don't want to read the synopsis for this one just because it'll give away what the first one is about for the most part. But there's just a continuation of Powerless, and I've heard that Powerless ends on kind of a cliffhanger. So to be quite honest, I'm probably going to wait to read Powerless until I get Reckless, or when Reckless gets close to be coming out, so that way I can just marathon it. But if you know about Powerless, just be aware that the second one comes out July 2nd. So the next book that I'm really interested in, so it's got 2 different dates, and I'm not exactly sure why, but on Goodreads, it says it comes out July 23rd. On my pre-order for it in Amazon, it comes out December 3rd. So I'm not sure if this is technically published in the UK first or somewhere else, and then that's why it's not published in the US right away. That I'm not sure about, but I have this one pre-ordered. I'm super excited for it. So depending on wherever you're at, it'll either come out in July or December. But here is this, but it's called The Last One, and it's by Rachel Halsell Hall. So here is the synopsis. My name is Kai. I wish I can say that my life has changed, but I don't remember my life before today. I wake up naked and voiceless in a forest outside a town called Maford. Everyone I meet there either fears me or loathes me. Strange beasts, otherworldly creatures hunt me. Each time I fight them, I unlock new powers, seeing the glow of death, moving objects with a flick of my hand, controlling the weather. I do have a weakness. The moment I touch another, a piece of me dies. Yes, I'm dying every day. That's why I need to know right now. Who am I? What am I? I need answers before I perish. But my amulet, the source of my power, has been stolen. I know the thief, Adara, and I were friends, or so I thought. She lies. Now I must work with her brother, Jaden, the town's blacksmith, to reclaim all that's mine. There's a problem, though. A white-haired woman named Ellen has come to Maford, and she claims that we are old friends. Like Adara, Ellen also lies. She's stronger and stranger than me, and she's trying to stop me. From what? I don't know. But I must be powerful. I must be someone. Who? So that synopsis gives you a lot, but it also gives you questions. And so that's why I'm really intrigued by it. Plus, you've got strange beasts, you've got a person who has no idea who she is, so you're trying to search for answers. And not only are you the author, or you the reader, searching for answers, but your character also doesn't know who she is. So I'm very interested in this. To be honest, I really wish I'd be getting it in July, but I'm not, so I'll have to wait till December. But if you're able to get it in July, let me know what you think, because I'm excited for it. This next one also has 2 dates. Goodreads says it comes out 7/27. My pre-order says it comes out a month later, August 27th. So at least it's not too long after its initial release that it then gets released. I'm not sure how all that works. So if you know how that works, please let me know in the comments. I would absolutely love to know so I can have a better understanding. But this next one, it is called Between Dragons and Their Wrath. And it is considered a high epic fantasy novel. And I mean, what drew me to it was dragons. Obviously, you can't not like dragons if you like fantasy. Dragons are the best. And this is by Devin Madsen. I'm not sure if this is the first one by him or her or not. But it sounds really good. So here's the synopsis. Oh, and by the way, don't if I can't pronounce certain things, it's fantasy, so be nice. The old kingdom of Paicha has been split into city-states, but there are those who seek to reunite the shattered realm, by force if necessary. Amidst the turmoil, there are three who will find their destinies inextricably tangled. Tessa is a glassblower's apprentice who becomes a tribute bride when her city is conquered by the South. In the enemy's court, she's perfectly placed to sabotage them, but her heart has other plans. Nai is a laundress in the house of an eccentric alchemist who is awakening to strange new powers. When radicals approach her, she faces a choice between keeping her magic to herself and using it to change the world. And in the desolate Shield Mountains, Dragon Rider Ash protects the cities from the monsters in the Lapao sands beyond. But soon he'll have to learn how to protect his dragon when hunters unlock the secret to killing them. As war sweeps across the land, Tessa, Nail, and Ash must fight for survival against political enemies, dragon hunters, and monsters, both within and without. So I'm very intrigued by this. First up, you're going to have a dragon. They're just not going to be myth, which is super nice. And then you've got 3 different perspectives in 3 different sets of kind of the political landscape or in the world landscape. And then you get to see them kind of at some point come together. So I'm very intrigued by this and I am so excited to get this on my shelf. So August releases. I've got 3 and I'm putting this one on there. Technically it was released in March of 2023, but I just learned about it and the special edition for this book, and I believe it's a duology, so the next one. They both come out this year, and this one comes out August 6th, and it is called The Coven by Harper L. Woods, and this is the special edition of this book. So just in case you've already read The Coven or are a big fan of The Coven, or you just want to buy it regardless, the special edition comes out beginning of August. So if you don't know, I'm going to read the synopsis for this one since it is the first in this duology. I believe it's a duology. And if it's not, I don't know. Find that out later, I guess. But here is the synopsis of The Coven. Raised to be my father's weapon against the coven that took away his sister and his birthright, I would do anything to protect my younger brother from suffering the same fate. My duty forces me to the secret town of Crystal Hollow and the prestigious Hollows Grove University, where the best and brightest of my kind learn to practice their magic free from human judgment. There are no whispered words here, no condemnation for the blood that flows through my veins. The only animosity I face comes from the beautiful and infuriating headmaster Alaric Grayson Thorne, a man who despises me just as much as I loathe him and everything he stands for. But that doesn't mean secrets don't threaten to tear the school in two. No one talks about the bloody massacre that forced it to close decades prior, only the opportunity it can afford to those fortunate enough to attend. Because for the first time in 50 years, the Coven will open its wards to the 13. 13 promising students destined to change the world, if the ghost of Hollow Grove's victims don't kill them first. The Coven is book 1 in the Coven Bones series and ends on a cliffhanger. This is a gothic, dark academia paranormal romance and includes elements that may be triggering to some listeners. So I wanted to read that just because it had that little trigger warning there. But it sounds super good, and I just love dark academia books. Plus, you can't go wrong with witches. So this sounds like something that I'll pick up in fall, even though it's coming to my door in August. But like, the reviews on it are, right now it says a 3.87 out of 32,838 ratings. So I'm not sure why the ratings are so low. I haven't really looked into that because I don't want any spoilers, and I kind of want to just, read it for myself and see if I like it. Hopefully I do, since I bought the special edition. But super excited for that to come to my door. The next one that I'm going to talk about is The Doll Makers by Lynn Buchanan, and this comes out 8/13. So I learned about this when I was listening / watching Brandon Sanderson's book club with Tress, the Emerald Sea, at the beginning, and found out that that Lynn Buchanan, who was on the panel, she was writing this book, and she got a deal and it was coming out, whatever. So I kept my eye out for it. I also found out that she works for Brandon Sanderson, and Brandon has talked about the book. He's read her, has read it, maybe not like the final copy, but I think he said he read most of it, and he said it was super, super good, and that he was proud of Lynn getting this published by herself. Because Brandon's like, I did not do anything with it. She did this all by herself. So I wanted to support the new author, and to be quite fair, it sounds awesome. So I'm like super excited to read it. It sounds different, and different is good. You need different. So here's the synopsis of The Doll Makers. In the country called One, doll makers are vital members of the community. An artisan's doll is the height of society's accomplishments, while a guard's doll is the only thing standing between the people of One and the vicious, cobbled monstrosities that will tear apart any structure, living or dead, inanimate or otherwise, to add to their hoard. Apprentice Sheen of Pearl is a brilliant doll maker. With her clever dolls, she intends to outsmart and destroy the Shad, once and for all, a destiny she's worked her whole life toward accomplishing. But when the time comes for her dolls to be licensed, she's told her work is too beautiful and delicate to fight, a statement that wounds and infuriates her. The Shad killed everyone she loved. How could her fate be anything but fighting them? In an attempt to help her see a new path for herself, Sheen's mentor sends her on a journey to the remote village called Webb, urging her to glean some wisdom from Kilissa, a reclusive and well-respected guard doll maker. But Sheen has another if she can convince the village of Webb of her talents. The Licensor Guild will have to reconsider and grant her a guard's license. And what better way to convince them than challenging Ikilsa and instating herself as the official doll maker of Webb. Once she's done that, proving her doll's worth in the fight against the Shad will be simple. As simple, that is, as calling the Shad to Webb. So this is a high fantasy novel, but it's also got some like science fiction in it, which is really nice. The science fiction fantasy is a really interesting genre. So I'm very excited to get this. The cover looks amazing, by the way, which, I mean, you can see, but it comes out August 13th. If you haven't pre-ordered it yet, I highly recommend to pre-order it. I am very excited to read it and do a review. The last book I'm just going to mention, since it's a third in the series, which I have not read yet. It is on my TBR to start this year. Cross your fingers. But this comes out August 20th, and it is Wisteria by Adeline Grace. This is part of the Belladonna series. And the cover, again, is just gorgeous, just like the other two covers in the series. But all I'm going to say is it's fantasy, romance, young adult, gothic, mystery. So if you've read Belladonna and Foxglove, pre-order this one. It's coming out 8/20. You're gonna want to get it. I'm excited for it to come out just because I think what I'll do is do like a marathon. I like to do that kind of stuff because if it's really, really good, I want to continue the story all at once. I don't want to have to wait. And that is why it stinks that I had to start Fourth Wing and Iron Flame and I have to wait for the next ones to come out. But don't forget to get this. Well, everyone, that was all of the releases in June, July, and August that I'm very interested in or have already pre-ordered and will be at my door. Hopefully some of these interest you. Let me know what other releases are coming out in those months down below. I would love to know. What are you excited for? And don't forget, like, subscribe, and be good people.
When you feel it's hopeless, when you think that you lost, oh, I will take your hand and we'll rise up from the dust. Oh,